Okay, so I don't have a whole lot of time to shoot this video because I'm in between two 14-hour shifts. But I just got this delivered today. Castle Grayskull. Look at that. Let's see if we can, maybe I can eliminate some of the glare here. We can appreciate some of this beautiful artwork on the box. There's a Zodak up here at the top, one of my favorite characters. Here he is. And he's probably looking for the neutral setting on the flag. He-Man and Skeletor dueling in front of it. Yeah, Tila, Man-at-Arms, Beastman, Manny Faces, Stratos, who comes with the Staff of Avion, which the figure does not actually come with. Triclops, Evelyn, some generic-looking skeleton dude who's pretty cool. A couple of those, actually. They'd be cool to make for henchmen. That'd be nice to see. There's Ram Man. And, of course, the Sorceress. She comes with it. So, really nice artwork. On the top of the box, it's got some of the features. On the side of the box, the artwork kind of extends, and you can see Battle Cat over here. And on this side, you can see Fisto fighting some kind of monster down here. I don't know who that is. It looks kind of like I guess just some kind of generic work. You got some dude riding a pterodactyl. Maybe it's Turbodactyl. I don't know. What's on the bottom? Just a picture of the castle and a logo. And that's pretty much it. I figure I'm probably going to hang this puppy on my wall because it's a really nice piece of artwork. So, let's go ahead and open her up. I brought the X-Acto knife with me. There we go. And there's 2, 3, 4 pieces of tape. Get this opened up. Boy, I've been looking forward to this. I pre-ordered this from Walmart back in October. So that's how long I've been waiting for this. And it was supposed to be here in April. And then it got delayed. So here we are, almost all the way through May by now. So it's been almost 2 months delayed. And that's after I pre-ordered in October. So yeah, I've waited a long time for this. Ooh, that's a tight fit. That's what she said. So, sliding the castle out of its box. There we go. And if you can see it on the other side, here's what I'm seeing over here. There's a little baggie with the Sorceress and the instructions. So I'm going to set that aside. And I don't want this stuff to fall, so I'm going to pull it out. Here are the 2 floors for the castle. And they're not made out of the type of plastic the old castle was made out of. This is more of a flexible kind of plastic, like a nylon type of plastic, what I like to call waxy plastic. Paint won't stick to this very well. So I'm wondering if it's going to stick, or if they use some kind of just really super duper paint on this. It doesn't seem to be chipping easily. And it's got these kind of flecks of white that are molded into it. I know a lot of people didn't like those. Here's some accessories. They're in this little bag. I'm trying to take this stuff out, like as I'm pulling stuff out of the box, because I don't want it to fall all over the place. And there's some more stuff. There's one of the tapestries of the castle in there, and it's made out of actual fabric. All right, and weapons rack, and the training device, and the throne, and the laser cannon, and this smaller weapons rack, which did not come with the original. I think, like, in the original one, they had something that was kind of like this, but it was a cardboard cutout instead of an actual plastic piece. But that'll be something else that could hold some weapons. And yeah, that looks like that's everything that was in the box. And it's on this little cardboard ski. Go ahead and get that out of the way. In fact, I'm going to pull out some cardboard crystal in this box. So that way, I can just keep the outer box. I can, burn all the other cardboard or something if we have on fire. So yeah, there it is. And unfortunately, one of these stupid pop-ups came up for the antivirus thing. So I'll try to close that and get it out of my way. So yeah, go ahead and move this stuff here. I'm going to start trying to put this together. Here's the elevator. So yeah, that's what it looks like. That's the front of the castle. That's the back of the castle, or the side of the castle. I'm not exactly clear on whether this is supposed to be the back of the castle or the side of the castle in real life. Like, if this thing actually existed, would it be set up like this, where this is, the side of the castle? That's how it's often depicted in artwork. But sometimes in artwork, it's depicted where, like, this is the front of the castle, and this is the back of the castle, and they make up whatever the sides look like. And, of course, I don't think the Filmation cartoon used any of this. So here's something interesting, is on the old one, there were, like, these kind of little tabs in a slot where it kind of fit together. They got a little fancier with this one. There's some pegs at the top and the bottom, and little places for them to go. And then there's these little hooks that snap into place just like that. Pick it up by the handle. Kids can carry it around. Instead of the kind of plastic hinge where it all sort of just kind of hooked together on this side, it actually has a metal pin that holds the whole thing together. So that's really nice. And then look at this. The turret over here matches up perfectly on each side. So if you did close it up and you were playing with it just as like a background for your characters to be fighting on the exterior, like you could have He-Man and Skeletor, like you could probably fit both of them up here. Yeah, so they could actually duel. Let me try to adjust this so you can see that a little better. There we go. So you can actually have them duel in the top of the castle. So that's kind of neat. I like that. So, okay. Let's go ahead and try to put her together. Okay, so that's what the inside looks like, and you can see that the elevator device is already in here. So that's good. I don't have to worry about tying any strings or having the string, because the string's got to be like the exact right length. And if you don't have it the exact right length on the original toy, it's not going to work the way it's supposed to. So hopefully they've got this set up the correct length. And, check out the Jawbridge. The Jawbridge is actually painted and detailed, whereas the old Jawbridge was, molded in one solid color of plastic. This one is brown with silver and green detailing on it. Very nice. You know what I have to do now? I need both halves of the power sword. And I suppose if you have, like, the whole power sword, like what comes with Prince Adam, or what's going to come with the, thankfully, new He-Man and Skeletor figures that we're going to be getting, you'll have a whole power sword already, but I think it's more fun to use this with the two halves put together anyway, because that's pretty old school. So let's go ahead and stick it in the lock. And it's a much tighter fit than the old one. Hopefully it didn't mar up the swords at all. But yeah, the Jawbridge is now unlocked. And we can open it. In theory, anyway. Look at that. And the tongue is all nicely detailed. There's lots of really nice kind of stonework detail to it. And the teeth, just like how I remember the original one being. It's this is a new sculpt. It's not the same sculpt as the original one, but it has a really nice vintage feel to it anyway. One thing that I do like about the older one versus this one, though, is like there was more of a kind of lopsided quality to the skull, and this one seems a little more sort of symmetrical. So, like, in my mind, I always thought of the skull as being like a real skull of some kind of monster, some kind of eldritch abomination that would have been killed like thousands of years ago, and they built the castle around the skull of this thing. That's just how I see it. That's as I like to imagine it. Okay, so let's get to work on putting this together. And we've got the bag with the accessories in it, like some of the weapons that go in the weapons pack, or the weapons rack, sorry. And then we've got this with a little computer, and that is at least one of the platforms that'll go in here. It looks like some of these other ones are in here too. It looks like there's one big platform that's going to fit in between these two. But we'll get all this figured out. I guess first, we should probably open the bag with the Sorceress in it. I say as I open a completely different bag. Let's move those over there for now. Since the Sorceress is in the bag with the instructions. And that way we can go ahead and look at the Sorceress too. Which is, to me, one of the best things about this set is that it comes with the Sorceress. And she's one of my favorite characters, so I've looked forward to having an Origins figure for her for a long time, and she is well worth the wait. They did a really good job with this figure. Now, a lot of people might be wondering why the Sorceress is wearing an all-white outfit, whereas on the cartoon she had, you know, blue on her shirt and orange on her wings and blue on her boots and all this kind of stuff, and this is just plain white Sorceress outfit. And the reason for that is it's based on one of the mini comics. I think there's a few mini comics where she appeared like this, but it's commonly referred to as the Temple of Darkness Sorceress. That's what the Classics version was called, and it had the same color scheme. One thing I noticed about this is kind of funny is usually when they do that, they give her like Tila type boots molded in white, and this time she actually has Sorceress type boots molded in white instead. And like on mine, there seems to be like a little bit of a residue that came off of these wings. Hopefully that's just mine, but they're kind of rubbery. And the wings are very simple. They don't have a mechanism like the old ones did that popped up. You just kind of roll them up yourself. And you notice they're made out of this kind of translucent white plastic, kind of frosty. And I think that's pretty cool. These, it's a little more firm kind of plastic, like that kind of waxy plastic I was talking about. But the tail feathers are kind of rubbery. And I figure that's probably so it can help her sit in the throne better when we get to put her in the throne. But the face painting is pretty good. Thankfully, my Sorceress doesn't have like crooked eyeballs or anything like that, like these figures can have sometimes. You can see for yourself that, you know, the paint applications wound up pretty well. And she's got a face that's really accurate to the toy. She's got like a kind of a cute doll-like face. It looks almost like the original Barbie from the 1950s, like that kind of face. And if you recall, I mentioned that since they redid Tila, she looked more like the Filmation cartoon. She didn't have a face that looked like the original toy necessarily. But if you have this, like an extra one of these Sorceresses, is like when they release the regular colored version on the card, you could maybe use that to make a new head for your Tila that looks like the vintage toy if you want to. Like, you'd have to resculpt the hair and everything, so you'd have to be good at sculpting, obviously. But you could do that. The only other problem with that, though, is that I think she has a lighter skin tone than what most of the other Masters of the Universe figures have. It looks like she doesn't even. Yeah, comparing her to He-Man, He-Man's skin tone is much deeper and more sort of, I don't want to say orange, because that might trigger some people, but it's definitely like he has more of a tan than the Sorceress does. And most of the characters in this line that are Caucasian have the He-Man skin color, so this is a first skin color that I've seen on this line for this. Like, even if you put in the WWE figures, those have a skin color that's closer to your standard wrestling figures. And this is like a unique Caucasian skin color that I haven't seen in this line yet. Maybe it's on some of the other figures that are Caucasian. I don't know. But I haven't encountered it thus far. Alright, so that aside, maybe I'll do more of a video on her later, but I think that covers her enough for the purposes of this video. So here we have a sticker sheet, and unfortunately my sticker sheet got kind of banged up, and hopefully that won't affect how they look on the actual toy when I get it put together. But let's have a look-see. Obviously this is based on the sticker sheet that would have come with the original toy that was done by, I'm drawing a blank on her name, I feel bad about that. Mark Taylor's wife designed it. And they're still married to this day, and I've spoken with her on Facebook. She's a really sweet lady, so if she sees this, I'm sorry I drew a blank on your name. but thanks for making my childhood a little bit more awesome by designing the original labels and cardboard cutouts that came with the original Castle Grayskull. And these were based on your artwork, but they're not quite as good as your artwork, I don't think. I think yours was a little better, but you can see it's got the grate, the Dwell of Souls, but it's not exactly the same as the one that came with the original one. You know, which on one hand is too bad, because the original one is really cool, but on the other hand is kind of neat and kind of acceptable, because I figure there wouldn't be the same exact creatures trying to get out all the time. There should be like a mass of different creatures trying to get out. And it's kind of cool to think like maybe this would be like, you know, a few days later and there's different creatures that have clawed their way up. There's both sides of the flag, which is going to be a really tiny flag compared to the original one. There's obviously going to be the computer monitor, the back of the throne. I'm not sure what this will be. Probably maybe like controls for the throne. And obviously the carpet that's going to go over the trapdoor. So here's the instruction sheets. We got a list of everything that comes with it. A little picture list showing us everything that's supposed to come with this toy. All the floors and the bottom of the elevator and all that kind of stuff. So it says step 1 is apply labels. So I guess we might as well do that. Let's go ahead and get some of this stuff out. Yeah, here's that flag I was talking about. And it's on a little plastic tab. A little tapestry, I mean. And sure enough, that's going to stick into one of these. Probably this one, because you wanted to go over the throne. There we go. And it kind of, you heard it kind of snap into place there. There we go. And this is, like I said, a little bit more of a flexible kind of plastic than the original toy had. So it's got a little more sort of give to it. It's designed to be that way. Alright, and then this one... Am I getting ahead of myself? I don't really care. I'm going to set this aside. We'll go ahead and pull all these out and set them aside. That way I know what all the parts are. And there's another tapestry, another little banner hanging off the bottom of that one. And again, these are based on the original artwork. but I don't think they actually are the original artwork. It's a little harder to tell with these since it's printed on fabric. It looks good. There's the bottom of the elevator. So the elevator isn't one solid piece like it is in the original one. It's two different pieces that are going to lock together. And this plastic, it seems to have a little bit more of an iridescent quality to it, where like it's slightly, just ever so slightly metallic. Not like shiny, shiny metallic, but there's a little bit of a gleam to it. And way over there is where I put the two main floors. So let's go ahead and first, let's get this over with, because this is going to be the sticker that's going to be the one I'm going to want to get the most perfect, which is the carpet. It goes on the trap door, and I just want it to look as good as possible. You know, it might be okay if it has some wrinkles to it because it's supposed to be a carpet, but I'd still rather it not have as many wrinkles as possible. And I'm just not going to beat myself up on these too much like I did during the Batmobile video, because honestly, the sticker sheet got kind of banged up in the box, so it's not going to look perfect no matter what. And I did get it on there a little bit crooked, but that's okay. That's okay. Alright, so there's that sticker. Now we'll do the computer monitor with its little outer space background to it. And that appears to be the only sticker that goes on here. So then we'll be done with that. I'm going to try to get it on there as straight and as perfect as possible, because I want it to look like a computer monitor. I don't really mind if the carpet has some wrinkle to it, but I want this to have as little wrinkle as possible, since it's supposed to be like a screen. And I didn't quite get it on there. It's got a little bit of overlay here, but whatever. It's as good as I'm going to get it. Alright, so then there's the other little computer console. And then we've got the dungeon. And I have no idea how this dungeon is supposed to be oriented. There's a little notch that's here. So obviously it's supposed to go there. And it's not quite as big as the old Castle Grayskull dungeon grate. But there we go. I think that looks fine. I put the hinge facing towards the wall because I figured that would be the way you would want the hinge to open up. That just makes sense to me. I can't really tell if that's how you're supposed to have it on there, but I don't think Mattel's going to send like the sticker police to my house because I put the thing on there facing the wrong way if I did. So here's our flag. And here are all the accessories, which there aren't quite as many accessories as what came with the old Castle Grayskull, unfortunately, in terms of the weapons. But there are most of them. Most of them are here. At least half of them are here. And here's what we got. We got a laser rifle, which they redesigned slightly. It doesn't have the barrels like the original one has. It now has a kind of a weird sort of trapezoidal barrel. It reminds me of like Rob Liefeld comic book art. So we'll set that down for now. We got a sword, which is based on the original sword, but completely different. Like you can tell that where it got its inspiration from, but it's way different. Like the handguard is different. And here is the mace, which I don't like this mace as well. The flanging is different. And halberd, which I'm still waiting on my Scareglow figure. It's still supposed to get here like June 3rd. They're being really stubborn about it. But I'm wondering if he comes with the same halberd as this, or I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So I will go ahead and put the sticker on the throne. It looks like I need to click that in there front ways, like facing towards the where the child would be when he's playing with the playset, or she's playing with the playset. It could be a girl. Lots of girls played with He-Man toys. That's why they made She-Ra. Because they figured we might as well make some like actually for the girls. I know my cousin Amy. Shout out to her if she's watching. She loved He-Man as much as I did. I love She-Ra as much as she did. Alright, maybe a little more. Alright, so we can go ahead and put that in there. And it doesn't want to go exactly towards the front. It kind of wanted to, but now I got it turned toward the front. I think what you're supposed to do is, oh, there it goes. There went the trap door. So let's go ahead and put this into place. I don't need to look through the instructions to know where the trapdoor and the throne room go. They go here. Let's see if I can get it to lock in. These floors, yeah, they're when it snapped. It's in there good now. These floors are, while they still have a little bit of an organic shape to them, they're not quite as random as the old ones were. So a lot of this castle is not quite as random and organic as the original, which I don't necessarily think is a good thing. It's not bad per se, but it you know, I like the castle having a little more character to it. Let's go ahead and take the swords. Well, that are supposed to go on our flag, and it's just a simple little flag stand. And we put the stickers on here. I was kind of hoping when I saw it that maybe it would be like the sort of thing where like you could actually switch the flags around like a sandwich kind of plastic, like two pieces of it, and kind of like a book, kind of flip it around so it'd be on the good side or the bad side. But nope, it's just a pretty simple plastic flag. And I guess you just have it pointing whichever way you want to be displayed. So this isn't where it actually goes, but it'll be good to demonstrate it. You know, if you want the good guys to be in charge, you can have the good side facing out. Or if you want the bad guys to be in charge, you can have the bad side facing out. That was the original intention of this flag. To denote which faction between the heroes and the villains were in possession of the flag. Or possession of the castle. The flag was supposed to tell you that. Now, I've got all these stickers applied except for this one, this control panel, which I wasn't sure where it went, and now I'm starting to think it goes on the elevator. Because there's not a... I was thinking maybe it could go on like the arm of the throne to give you some controls for the throne, but I don't believe that that's the case anymore. Okay... okay, so that goes onto this smaller computer console is where it goes. Now, why didn't they just paint it then? I mean, they've already got painted detail on there. What's a few more little doodads? I mean, like, gray, which is, you know, this is silver, so it's kind of the color of this plastic, I guess. Red, they already have on here, so, like... There's not any more paint for that. Yellow, they already have on here, so it's not any more paint applications for that. It'd just be like part of that run. But there is one little purple button on here, and I don't see any purple paint on here, but it could have just as easily been like a green button or a blue button. I don't know. That was an odd decision. That was an odd decision, and it gives me one more sticker to put on. And while I don't hate putting these stickers on quite as much as the Lego stickers, don't particularly enjoy doing it either. Okay. Any toy companies that are listening, the less stickers I have to put on, the happier I'm going to be. Alright, so that's all garbage. Yeah. Okay, so we got like a few more pieces to put on here, obviously. And I guess I'll start off with the floor of the elevator, and it's gonna, there we go. Like a lot of these, it snaps in really tight and then it's in there pretty firm. And see, there's our elevator. That's how that's gonna work. Doesn't quite slide as smoothly as I might like, but what are you gonna do? Alright, so next, I guess I might as well put that floor in over there. Since I already have the third room floor in, I might as well put the elevator floor in. And this is different from the original one also in that there's this opening here, whereas like the whole elevator is fit through like a solid hole on this one. This one's got more of an opening. So we will just put this on here, like so. Sorry guys, this is kind of an awkward angle for me. I'm gonna pull this a little closer. I know you can't see, but just imagine it. I'm just putting in the floor. It's not that impressive. You saw me put in the other floor. Imagine that, but on the other side. Okay. So there we go. And much like with the original one, there's like a little bit of a ledge here where there's some overlap. So if you have it open up all the way, you know, characters can step up that way or still step up this way. So you can configure Castle Grayskull however you want to. You can have it at kind of like this 90-degree angle, or you can have it all flattened out. It depends. I kind of feel like maybe the castle would be that way, like in real life anyway. Like that, it would seem to, it's a living thing, and it would seem to move around, and stuff would not be where you would remember it being. It would be very easy to get lost in the castle. Alright, so I'm looking at this, and the main way I'm figuring out which piece goes in which here is the banner, because this one has a banner hanging off of it. So that way I know that it fits into this one here. There we go, locks in really good. By the way, there's little peg holes, or little pegs for the peg holes in the feet, which the original Masters of the Universe figures did not have, but you can stick the figures on the peg holes and it gives them a little bit of stability. Just put the peg holes of the feet on there. One thing I didn't point out about this that I want to, I'm going to go back to the Sorceress for a second, is she's got this feathery texture actually sculpted into her torso. Whereas the original figure, it was painted on there with the most delicate paint that I've seen on any action figure except maybe the G.I. Joe Viper pilot. That silver sigil on there that would rub off if you looked at it funny. This one you wouldn't even have to look at it funny. You just take it out of the package and it just dissipated. You know, ironically, the vintage Sorceress that I have, I got at a Goodwill for like 50 cents. And she actually still had the stuff on there. Somehow it survived, this kid playing with it. But as an adult collector, just as I like, you know, have her packed up and move and stuff like that, it got rubbed off. It's kind of frustrating. Okay, so we got one more platform, and this one will go here, because it's the only place that's left to put it. And what else do I have? We have a laser cannon, which hopefully has a peg that it'll fit onto. And it looks like you can put it on this turret, snapped on there pretty good, but I think it'll still come off. Or you could maybe put it on this turret, because it's got these are both the same size. Both these pegs are the same size. So you can put it on either one, but it's obviously designed to go on this one, because for one thing, there's more room for the action figure to stand while they fire the laser cannon, and there's a peg hole over here. But also this one, like there's not as much room for them to stand. There is another peg for an action figure to stand there, but it's going to be covered up by the cannon if you put the cannon on here. There's also another peg over here There should probably be some pegs on here. There's no pegs on this side. Okay. Well, I was wrong. It happens occasionally. I'm going to put the flag on with the evil side facing out. So you can see, like, the good side is facing in, but that means the evil side is facing out. So it's telling everybody that Castle Grayskull is under control of the dark forces. Skeletor has breached the castle, and he has taken over. And he has every intention of learning all of Castle Grayskull's secrets so he can become master of the universe. I know, you're terrified. It's a horrifying thought. This demon from another dimension, this Skeletor, this evil creature, being in command of all the secrets of the universe, and he is now your overlord and master. It's very terrifying. I don't blame you for being frightened one bit. It's a very scary idea. So just look at that face. He's just enjoying being evil so much. This is a Skeletor that I kind of custom made. This is a head from the Super 7 Club Grayskull figure. I was able to get one for like $6 on eBay a while back, and I was able to pop it on there. And since I thought that the armor and loincloth from the old one were a better match color-wise than the Origins one, I put those on there. This actually isn't vintage. This is from a commemorative edition. I had some extras. So yeah, Skeletor is now in command. Skeletor rules over all. And there are little pegs on the throne, so you can actually, like, stick them in there really good. These little foot pedals aren't just, places to put the figure's feet anymore. They actually peg in there, and I can adjust him after I get him pegged in and kind of get him into a little bit more of a sitting position. There we go. The king of Castle Grayskull. Why don't I switch his sword around a little bit? Put it in the right hand. I usually keep it in his left hand because he follows the left-hand path. But but yeah, that looks a little more kingly. It kind of reminds me, like, Alfredo Alcala would often draw Skeletor sitting in a throne holding a sword like that. So that's kind of cool. So, alright, so we got He-Man. And give him his half of the sword. Like, maybe Skeletor got into it, but He-Man managed to get his half of the sword back. And he's going to confront Skeletor. So, your reign of terror is at an end, Skeletor. That's what you think, He-Man. Oh! Now He-Man's in the dungeon with all this gross stuff. You're trapped there. How are you going to get out of it? We'll go ahead and put that up. He wouldn't want, like, Beast Man or somebody to fall in there. Then he'd need another henchman. And Beast Man would be clumsy enough to fall in there. So, alright. So, then we got this little computer panel. We can put that on there. And there we go. And we got the larger computer panel, which is going to go over here in the elevator room. I don't know what the official name of this room is, but it's got an elevator in it, so I'm going to call it the elevator room. And starting to think what I should have done is put this in here first and then put the floor in. I think that would have been easier, but I'm already committed. I want to take the floor out. And like the other ones, you heard it click in. It's a really loud click. Okay, so ladder, and it looks like there's not really a top or a bottom to the ladder. It just Goes on there however you want. So we can have the ladder over here. It looks like there's actually some notches over here to put the ladder into. So that's nice. So Skeletor can go up and down the ladder when he ascends or descends from his throne. Let's give the sorceress her staff. I don't care. That's just something telling me I can get Office for my computer. I don't care. Leave me alone. She's still around. She's skulking about the castle. She's making her plans to get Skeletor out of there. He does not belong in the castle. She wants him gone. Alright, so weapons that are missing that would have come with the original one is there would have been like another long axe, a shorter axe, a shield. So there's just these 4 weapons that are supposed to go on our weapons rack. Maybe they'll be able to get us the other weapons one day. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Let's see. I think that's actually... I'm going to do this a different way. I think I'm going to put that there and put this here. And the laser rifle actually has a little hole in it, so it fits on this peg. And then that's our weapons rack, which seems a little sparse, but okay. Maybe they'll put out a weapons pack at some point in the future, and I can have more stuff to go on my weapons racks. I don't even have enough weapons left to put on this thing, which should, hold some weapons. Well, let's look at the box. Let's see how they did it up on the box. Yeah, they put the mace and the rifle and the halberd on this thing, and then this thing they just have holding the sword. So, if I have a complaint about this playset, it's that there aren't enough weapons. Because I should at least have enough weapons to fill out my weapons rack. There should be something that goes over here. You see how there's like something over here that looks like it's supposed to hold something? Like maybe the shield could fit in there. I don't know. But there's nothing to put there. There's nothing I can put there. And I don't see how any of these weapons would fit any better. Obviously, it's got a peg that's like intended to hold that rifle, since it has the hole in it. But yeah, that's how the whole thing looks like when it's put together from the inside. It's pretty impressive. I'm really happy with it. He-Man's going to have to get out of that dungeon some way. So I guess let's have the Sorceress try to get him out. So she jumps down there, and she's going to take the elevator down to the bottom, because somebody's got to take the elevator. And it got kind of hung up on the floor. Maybe I don't have the floor in there all the way. There we go. Okay. And this thing isn't quite long enough, or it's a little too long for to hook onto the floor, which is unfortunate. But we can take the Sorceress and we can put her onto the elevator. And get the peg hole on there. That way I make sure she doesn't fall off the elevator. Alright, so going down. It's not quite as smooth as the old one, I don't think. That's too bad. There we go. Alright, so He-Man, thank goodness I found you. Sorceress, there seems to be some kind of mystical barrier holding me in here. I can get you out with a spell. I'm free. Now I can go stop Skeletor. La-di-da, I love being the evil ruler of the universe. Ah, He-Man! It was a bad idea to leave a ladder here, Skeletor. Now I'm going to get you having to fall down that trap door again. Urgh. Ah! Once again, Good has triumphed over evil. Oh, what's happening? Ah! The sorceress used her magical powers and teleported Skeletor into the dungeon, so now he's stuck there. Stuck there with all the other evil creatures that have tried to steal the secrets of Castle Grayskull. I'm sure he's going to get out. He's a clever bastard. So, but for now, he's trapped in there, and He-Man and the Sorceress can celebrate their victory. He-Man and the Sorceress can celebrate their victory with a big bowl of strawberry ice cream. Which, of course, is exactly the way that people celebrate in Eternia. They love ice cream. So, all right. Well, that's pretty much it. That's me showing off Castle Grayskull. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, all the fun YouTube stuff, and I'll have more stuff in the future. I'm waiting on some more action figures to arrive from Amazon. I already mentioned Scareglow. I've got a couple of other ones that are on the way. A few more Masters of the Universe, and at least one G.I. Joe Classified. I'm not going to say which one. You'll just have to find out. So, but yeah, that's Castle Grayskull. I highly recommend it. It's all too rare that toy companies will make play sets for the figures these days, so it's important to support the ones that they do make. And this is, in my opinion, a very nice remake of one of the greatest play sets of the 1980s. Maybe the greatest playset of the 1980s. Yeah, I know some people are going to say the U.S. flag, but I was poor. I couldn't have the U.S. flag. So this was something I could afford, and I had a lot of fun playing with it. So, but yeah, there we go. Castle Grayskull. Why don't I turn this around and give us one more view of the front before we end this video. There we go. All right, have a good day. Take care. Bye.